Hello there, I'm the Thirsty Bookworm. Today I would like to discuss with you Clyde May's Alabama style whiskey. This is the Whiskey Talkin. I suppose the first thing we need to address is the name. Let's break it down into two portions. Clyde May's is one, and Alabama style is the other. Clyde May is some dead dude, and we'll discuss him further later. But what the hell does Alabama style mean? I consulted Urban Dictionary for the answer, and it gave me the results we all expected. Incest. So I asked the Google, which kept telling me about barbecue sauce, particularly one involving mayonnaise. Alabama is clearly a depraved state. So what is Alabama style whiskey? It's hinted that it involves apples in some sort of capacity, but I had a hard time coming up with any actual regulations on the subject, and no other brand was marketing their product as Alabama style. So, I did some hard-hitting research to get to the bottom of things. I emailed the company. After a week with no answer, most would have concluded that Clyde Mays was a part of the Illuminati and stopped there. But not me. I went the extra mile and sent a private message on Facebook. This time, they responded. Alabama style is not a legal definition. It is, however, trademarked, hence the reason they're the only one marketing it as such. Alabama style means that they add a subtle amount of apple to the aged product. When pressed what they meant, they explained that they use an apple extract. I was informed that the amount of apple flavor added to the whiskey amounts to 0.003% of the finished product. Clyde Mays is owned by Conic Brands, which includes a tequila and an Irish whiskey, and it's out of New York. So the geography is pretty confusing. This Alabama whiskey is currently being made out of Indiana by MGP, further confusing things. But they are in the process of building a distillery in Troy, Alabama, to start producing their own product. Hopefully, once done, they'll start being a little more transparent with their marketing, because they are currently about as transparent as the walls at Fort Morgan. The whiskey settles in at 85 proof, or for those of you watching from Alabama and need help with a difficult mathematical equation, that's 42.5% ABV. The mash bill is 75% corn, 21% rye, and 4% malted barley, and it's aged in brand new charred oaked barrels for 4 years. So until they add whatever secret apple adjunct they're using, it's a straight bourbon. The bottle's appearance is pretty cool. I like the lettering on it, and it comes with a romantic tale for you to read and help sell the product. Help add history and soul to the bottling. I think that the current bottles are no longer looking anything like this one, and I feel like they've downgraded in aesthetics. The color on this is quite beautiful. It's the color of whiskey. Maybe a little darker red than usual. As for the legs, on my scale of Lieutenant Dan to Dr. Frankenfurter, I give this whiskey Walton Goggins from Sons of Anarchy. Okay, let's talk aromas. Their website suggests distinct aromatics of rich caramel, dried orchard fruit, and green apple. My wife smells. I could have phrased that better. My wife noses vanilla, maybe. Brown sugar, something like that. Not vanilla, maple syrup. While I get caramel apples, not caramel and apples, but specifically the peanut crusted caramel dipped apples you might get from the county fair. I also get vanilla, oak, maybe even those caramel apple suckers, some sort of sweet candy. As for taste, their marketers imply we should get warm, medium-bodied spirit with accent of black pepper and hints of anise and toasted oak, crowned by a smooth finish. I taste wood astringency, sweetness, spice. It tastes like feed corn smells, And then it's got some navel orange on the back end. Not the juice or the zest, but the actual oil from the peel. It's not a very complex drink. This retails for less than $30 in my area, and I really wouldn't spend a whole lot more than that on it. I'm going to rate this 3 out of 7 Tim Dorsey books, which are always set in Florida. You know, use those for geographical continuity. Oh, yeah, I promised to tell you about Clyde Mays, the man. He's a guy who sold moonshine and then they used his image to market whiskey. He used to add oven dried apples to the barrels when aging his moonshine and took a lot of pride in it, and it made it special. Now they add an incredibly small amount of apple extract and slap his name and image on a bottle and call it Alabama style whiskey, despite the fact it's made out of state. Maybe none of this is devious, but it's certainly disingenuous. This whiskey can hold its own without the smoke and mirrors. I think they should just let it do its thing. But you can decide that for yourself. Anyways, thanks for listening. I'm the Thirsty Bookworm, and this has been the Whiskey Talkin'.